talk very fast, so get out your pens and pay attention.
Exactly. I'll have my pen and paper out too. Just so
very, very fast.
Yes. Awesome.
I got,
well,
my,
thank
I got
you.
my book from conference. I got my pen
Oh, yeah.
and my paper.
Me too, me too.
We're ready.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Lindsay.
Of course. Are you ready?
All set.
Okay, perfect. Okay, quick introduction. My name is Lindsay Haroldson. I am a stay-home mom of 4 kids. I'm a senior executive director and presidential circle member. I have been with Color Street since a month before we launched, so May of 2017. I am, for some reason, the go-to compensation plan trainer, so I'm going to buzz through it. I know it really well, so if I go too fast, Margaret, just like slow me down. Just in case, because I really do talk fast. Okay, so I'm going to go off of this. This is exactly what I'm reading off of. So if you have it, watch it and pay attention to it, because that's where I'm going to go all the way through. And then we'll also touch on placement and define some of the terms that there's a lot of confusion with. So the first one is a stylist. If you are new to the company and you start off as a stylist, even if you have not moved up the ranks, your pay can still be a really decent income. And I stress that because so many people come in and go, well, I'm not a recruiter, so I can't make money on this business, because all network marketing, you have to recruit and do all the things. And that is not true. So we have a lot of stylists that just sell, and they're bringing in $1,500 a month, which for a part-time income is really good, in my opinion, and theirs. Right off the bat, as long as you're bonus qualified, you can get paid on anybody you bring in, even if you haven't rank advanced. So right off the bat, you're going to get 6% on anybody that you bring in, plus your 25 to 35% commission. Do you want me to cover commissions? Everything? Okay, so commissions start off at 25%. You're going to get that every single week, direct deposited into your bank on Thursday or Friday, depending on your bank. And that runs from Wednesday to Tuesday. You get paid for that week, the following Thursday, Friday. That's where the pay week goes. So any sales that you make on your website or personally order through your website for your own wear, giveaways, selling stock, anything like that, 25% right off the bat. If you sell more than $600, you are in the enhanced commission portion of our compensation plan. And those go in increments of $600. So $600 to $1,199 is going to be 28%. $1,200 to $1,799 is going to be 30%. $1,800 to $2,399 is going to be 32%, and then anything over $2,400 is going to be 35%. So every $600 bumps you to a new thing. So I always tell our stylists at the end, when you're getting to like a week before the end of the month, look at your commission and don't leave money on the table. If you're 1 buy 3 get 1 away from the next increment of sales, enhanced commission, push it and make it happen, because it's worth it to get that extra commission. Now, the enhanced commission is not going to come on your weekly paychecks. That comes as a monthly bonus at the end of the month, and it's lumped in with all of your commissions on your team if you have one. So that's going to be like, if I qualify for 32%, my 25% comes weekly, and then they give me an additional 7% based on my entire month sales. So it's not just the overage over 600, it's your entire month's volume. Okay, so that's going to be for a stylist. And then anybody that you bring into the business, you're automatically making 6%. And I'm going to define this because I get a lot of people that go, what's the difference between your enroller bonus and your leadership level bonus? It's one of the biggest questions that we get. So the enroller bonus, there's an E1 and an E2. As a stylist, you're only qualified for E1, but I'm going to define both. So E1 is anybody that I personally bring into the business. Directly under me, they signed through my website. I am their enroller, and that never changes. So if I bring Margaret into the business, I will forever make 3% on anything Margaret sells, as long as I am bonus qualified in any given month that I want to get paid on Margaret. So forever, she's my E1. Now, if Margaret brings in Connie and directly brings in Connie, now Connie is my E2. Because anybody I enroll, anybody they enroll becomes my E2, and that never changes. And we're going to cover placement a little bit later in the compensation plan, but let's say that Margaret placed Connie 7 levels deep. That is still my E2, and that never goes away. The enroller bonuses follow the enroller, regardless of where they fall in your graphical tree. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's the enroller bonuses. Those always follow the enroller till the end of time. The leadership level bonuses matter where they fall. So if I enroll Margaret and she enrolls Connie, but she places Connie like 7 levels deep, now I'm not going to get the leadership level bonus ever on Connie because they only do leadership level bonuses 4 level deep. But I will get the enroller bonus because she still is my E2. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Okay, so as a stylist, you're eligible for 6% on anybody you bring into the business, period, as long as you bonus qualify. You do not need to rank advanced to make money on the people you bring in. But if you do rank advanced to senior stylist, which means that you are not only bonus qualified, but you have 2 people under you that are also bonus qualified. So now you've got 2 separate legs. It can't be Margaret and Connie because they're in the same leg, right? So it would have to be like Margaret and Dina in separate legs. Okay, so they have to be separate, not the same leg. So if Connie and Margaret were in the same leg and both bonus qualified, that still only counts as 1 leg. So you have to have 2 separate legs that are bonus qualified, 2,000 lifetime volume, and that includes everybody on your team since they started or were moved to your team, $2,000 lifetime group volume, and you can find that in your back office. And then 1,000 that month. So 1,000 of it for your entire team has to be in that month to promote. Once you promote, you now start receiving 3% on your level 2. Okay, that is not 3% on your E2. That is 3% on your level 2. So that might be the same person, right? So if Margaret brings in Connie, she is my E2, but I'm not going to get the 6% on her yet. I'm only going to get, right? Yeah, I'm only going to get the leadership level bonus, so 3 until I start receiving it on E2. Then it will bump up to 6 for Connie. I hope that is making sense. It is so hard to explain that portion, but I hope that makes sense. If you guys have questions, seriously, if you guys know how to throw them into the chat, do that and I'll answer them. Otherwise, we'll do questions at the end. And then to bump up to team leader, you're gonna need 3 bonus qualified legs, and one of them has to be a senior stylist under you. So now they need the qualifications for a senior stylist, and you need 2 additional legs to bonus qualify. You need 5,000 lifetime group volume and 2,500 capped. So we're going to talk about capped for a second. Capped is your 50% rule, plain and simple. If your capped volume shows what you need to maintain or promote, you're solid. You don't have to worry about your 50% rule. You don't need to worry about anything else. But let's say your capped volume is short. So let's say that my total team volume is $5,000, but Margaret takes up 4,000 of it. Well, I don't have 2,500 capped because I only have 1,000 outside of Margaret. So together, using 50-50, that's only $2,000 cap volume. So now I don't have the 2,500 required. Does that make sense? Your capped volume in your dashboard is calculating it for you, so you don't even have to think about it. But just so that you know, it might look like it's off because your dashboard will not ever show more than 50% of that number from your largest leg. So at any given time, it has to be balanced 50-50. So like if I'm at 1,000 from outside of Margaret, they're only going to use 1,000 from Margaret, even though she has 4. I can only take the same amount I have outside of her leg from her leg. Does that part make sense? So it always has to be balanced. So then if I get outside of Margaret another $500, then they'll take another 500 from Margaret and add 1,000 to my cap volume. So now my cap volume instead of 2,000 is 3,000. And now I've met my capped volume requirement. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. It makes sense to me now, but it took me a long time to figure it out. When I was looking at the back office, I'm like, wait, I know I have more. And I remember my husband looked at it and he's like, oh, they're only taking so much from that strong leg, Margaret. So you only really need like half.
Right. Whatever is remaining, like if you're at 1,000 and you need 2,500, you only need half of that 1,500 to come from your other legs. Because as soon as you get it, they're going to pull the same amount from your largest leg into your capped.
Right.
So you just have to know that your capped is always going to be 50-50. They're not ever going to count more from your largest leg than they're counting from all your other legs combined at any given time. If you sell a penny from Margaret, they're going to add a penny, or a penny outside of Margaret, they're going to add a penny from Margaret every single time, penny for penny.
Right. So it's even like that, even though that strong leg is like, that has so much volume, if that little leg only has a little bit, it's only going to take a little bit from that big leg.
Yep.
You can't use all of that until this other leg gets kind of like equal to it.
Yeah. They're going to keep it 50-50 because in order to maintain, you have to have at least 50% of your volume has to come from your legs outside of your largest leg. And everybody has a largest leg. It just happens. There is always
I know.
Yeah, my sister is my largest leg, and she takes up probably 75% of my team. So I am always like borderline enough to make my capped volume.
Yeah.
So it does happen, but just know that your capped volume in your dashboard is already calculating it for you. So you have to have that show what you are required to have to maintain or promote. Just watch that number. And if you guys have any questions, like Margaret understands how it works. So if you guys are ever questioning your capped, ask Margaret. I'm just gonna let you do that. You can contact me, but I don't know if you guys know how. So, but the capped volume, once you guys figure it out, it's like, oh my gosh, that makes sense. But it really does take a minute to like get it to click. So team leader and higher is the only time capped volume matters. Senior stylist, you don't have to worry about capped. There is no capped volume for senior stylist, only team leader and up. So then with team leader, the bonus that you get then is you're adding in now, you're getting the 3% on your E2. So anybody that you enrolled, who enrolled somebody, that person is now your E2, and you're getting 3% on them, as well as 3% on your level 3. So now you're getting 6 on level 1, 6 on level 2, typically, and 3% on level 3. And the reason I say typically is only if placement comes into play, which we'll talk about in just a second. Placement is also, you get the ability to place at team leader. And I'm going to go back to that after we get through the compensation plan, because I want to touch on it, but I don't want to deter from the flow of the compensation plan. So then you get up to director. And basically with every new rank, you're adding a bonus qualified leg. And the legs you do have to keep promoting with you. So it really is beneficial to build your teams and make sure that you're supporting them, because unless they go up with you, you won't advance. Okay, so you want to make sure that everybody's advancing together. Director is going to be 2 senior stylist leg and 1 team leader leg and an extra bonus qualified leg. So I get a lot of people that go, man, that girl just doesn't want to do anything. They just want to bonus qualify, and that's not good enough. They're not building. And I'm like, dude, those girls are your bread and butter, those just bonus qualified legs. You will need them until the end of time. So don't discount what they're doing because it matters. And then you need 20,000 lifetime group volume and 7,500 in that month capped. And they call it capped, but it's really just the volume that you need. So 7,500 in your back office, read the capped volume, not your total group volume. And then that's going to increase you now to level 4. You're going to get 3%. And those are, again, leadership level bonuses. So that's where they fall on your graphical tree. Anyone you see on level 4s, you're now getting 3% on. Now's the big jump. This is hands down, Margaret, would you agree? Senior director, hands down, hardest jump to make. So from director to senior director, the reason it's so hard is the volume jumps so significantly. So if you're stuck at director, don't feel bad. We've all been stuck at director for a good amount of time. There is always, yes, director is hands down the hardest to get up from. So senior director requires 5 qualified legs, 2 team leaders, and 1 director. And that's not even the hard part. The hard part is the volume. So you're going from 20,000 lifetime to 50. Now you need 50,000 lifetime and 25,000 in 1 month. So you're more than tripling what you needed the month prior. So it is hard to do. So don't feel bad if it's taking you some time, because all of us. So the bonus that you're going to get from moving up to senior director is going to be 1.5 on anybody level 5 and down, right? So you're already getting at least 3% on levels 1 through 4 as a director. So as a senior director, now you're getting it from 5 and down to an infinite depth. Okay, so this is not ever going to stop for you until you have a senior director in a leg. So let's say that you are all separate legs from me. Okay, but Margaret underneath her leg has a senior director directly under her on her level 2. So on her level 1, my level 2. So then I've got down to an infinite depth, 5th level and down on Connie, on Dina, on Margaret, and on Carolyn. But then on Margaret's leg, she stops at the senior director's 4th level. And the way you can remember that is that every senior director is now getting paid on their 5th and down. So the pay moves from me to them. I was getting it to an infinite depth, but once they promote, now they're getting it 5th and down. So it stops for you in only that leg. So it'll only stop if you hit a senior director. Does that make sense? If there's another senior director in a leg, which is good. You want them to promote. It's better for you, I promise. So then once you have senior directors, you're gonna bump up to executive, and this is the big money bump. This is where the pay is. So we like to tell our girls, senior director is it's a milestone you have to hit in order, it's a stepping stone, in order to hit executive. Executive is huge. So executive levels, you need to have 6 qualified legs, 2 directors and 1 senior director. Your volume needs to go to 150 lifetime and 50,000 in 1 month. So now we're doubling from what we needed as a senior director. And that's gonna bonus you 1.5, you're still gonna be getting everything you were getting as a senior director. So the 1.5 and down on 5 and down. And then, hey guys, I'm live, so you're gonna have to, sorry. My nephew and my kid just came up. But now you're also gonna be getting money on your entire team volume. So this is not based on your capped, this is based on your total group volume. You're gonna be getting 1.5%, which at a minimum, you have to be doing 50,000 in a month in order to be an executive. So at a minimum, you're looking at 750 on top of what you're already getting paid. Plus, you're gonna get the lifestyle bonus of 500. So right there, minimum raise, 1,250 bucks right off the bat to move to executive. In addition to that, if I have Margaret under me, who's also an executive, you're an executive, right? Are you a senior executive or executive? Either way, executive?
Yeah.
Yes,
so executive.
Either way, she's under me and she's an executive rank, right? So now she's directly under me, so she's my first generation. Generations are executive ranks. That's regardless of which rank in executive. If you have an executive under you, that's your first generation. If they have an executive under them, so if Connie hits executive, now that's my generation 2. So you look at it as grandma, mom, and daughter, right? So where they fall in your tree, every leg, you can have up to 3 generations of executives that you will get paid on. Okay, so if I max out, let's say Margaret's line is killing it, and she's got 7 executives deep all down in a row in generations. So that is not gonna count for me. I only get paid on 3, no matter how high in the company I go. And at that point, you're not gonna care. So as it stands right now, if I'm getting paid on Margaret as a first generation, I'm gonna receive 3% on her line, her total group volume. Now this is where it gets confusing. A lot of people thought, oh, a 3% raise on top of my 1.5 I was already getting, but no. They're what we consider a breakaway. So once Margaret hits executive, her team volume breaks out of mine and becomes her own little group, right? So she's a breakaway. But now instead of getting 1.5, I'm getting 3%. So it's a 1.5 raise on Margaret's team. Does that make sense? On every generation, 3 generations deep.
So this is where I was getting confused. So because so you can have 3 generations down that you're getting paid for even at the executive director level?
No, I'm sorry, no. At the top of the compensation plan. So
okay.
As an executive, you're only getting paid on 1 generation. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
1 generation as an executive, 2 as a senior executive, and 3 as a national executive.
Right. Okay. Yes.
Yes. And now that's not 3 generations under me. That's not like, okay, Margaret's got 3 and now I'm maxed out. If I have separate legs, they all can go 3 generations deep. So you are limitless on how many executives you can get paid on under you, as long as you go wide with your executives and they're not all the same leg. So 3 generations per leg that you will get paid on. Now here's something I do want to note. If Margaret has Connie under her and Connie hits executive, my pay does not go up, but Margaret's does, because now she's got a generation. But because Margaret is in my generation, they don't pull out until I'm not getting paid on their generation. So right now as a senior executive, I'm getting 2 generations deep. So I would get Margaret and Connie. But then when Connie gets Dina, then Dina pulls out and I no longer get paid on her until I hit senior executive. Then I'm sorry, national. Then I get 3.
Gotcha.
National.
Okay.
So that's the big bonus to moving up is that you also get the lifestyle bonus goes up by $250. So it goes from 500 to 750 in senior executive, and then to 1,000 as a national.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just money for you to do whatever you want with. That just comes in your paycheck. But the bonus of moving up is you're not losing money when your leaders promote, because it's not technically a raise for me. But for an example, my sister Leah hit senior executive before I did. So she had executives under her that pulled out of my check. I lost at least $7,000 from my paycheck because she hit before me. But then when I hit it, then my pay skyrocketed again because now I got paid on what she was doing. So if you're not paid on that generation, it does pull out of your paycheck. So it is a bummer when somebody passes you. And I experienced that very quickly. So it was only 2 months and then I caught up, but it was hurting. It hurt me. So so you want to make sure you're staying up with your leaders, because you always want to encourage them to grow, but you want to grow with them. So it's always important to make sure you're focusing on your personal business as well. Are there any questions about that before I go back to placement? No? Okay. Connie, if you want to ask a question, please do.
So you just gave the example that if someone on your team surpasses you in rank, you potentially are going to lose that income. But as soon as you get to that rank that they just got, it all comes back upward?
So it depends. Like, you won't lose any money on your team if you're not in executive ranks. The only time it draws from your pay is when you have breakaways that pull out of your group volume. So my group volume right now doesn't count Leah's, because Leah is an executive, and then she's got 3 executives underneath her, but they're all generation 2 to me because they all fall in different lines for Leah. So I'm getting paid on Leah as a generation 1, and then I'm getting paid on her 3 as a generation 2. But as soon as one of those 3 gets one under them, I'm screwed, and that pulls out of my pay because I'm not 3 generations deep yet. It doesn't affect you until you're in the executive ranks. You won't lose money until you hit executive. Oh, don't do that. You're going to hit executive. Okay. Does that help a little bit? It won't hurt you yet. It won't hurt you yet.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so but once you hit executive, yes, it's important to stay up with them so that their breakaway doesn't hurt you for the most part. Okay, so then placement is something that you get when you hit team leader. And I like to cover this in my compensation plan because a lot of new people don't understand what placement is. They don't know why we use it, and they get offended when we don't place under them or use it to benefit them. So I like to kind of talk about this a little bit. Placement, it's called strategic placement. It is a part of the compensation plan that you earn as a team leader for you to build your business. And what it is anybody I bring into the business, so let's say I bring Margaret, within her first 35 days, I can put her on somebody else's team in my tree, anywhere I want. I can go 12 levels deep, or I can go directly under one of my directs. I can go anywhere I want, and I base this, I always first look at what is it gonna take for me to promote or maintain, me personally. And then I look at my team, who's on the brink of a promotion, who is struggling to maintain, who is working their tail off but lacking that one person that could bump them over into a promotion. Promotion always first, and then maintenance. And then if you have all that solid, then you look at where can I start to build a new leg and start to get this team growing in this specific spot. It's gotta be strategic. It's gotta be something, because this is a business and you're in it to make money. So it has to be something that you are strategic when you place. Now I say that because I have had people say, well, I'm directly under you. How come you don't place under me? Well, you don't have any recruits of your own. You don't bonus qualify every month. I'm very picky where I place people, but I will tell you, I place everybody. Every person, unless I'm short a leg, I place everyone. And it's not because I don't want them under me. It's because I am trying to build an empire of sorts, of people that are working together, and I will not place somebody under someone who's not working their business, period. I don't care if it's my best friend. I don't place under them unless it's going to help my business, period. So it's really important, and what I like to tell my girls, I always say, Placement is given to you. You earn it as a team leader. It is your tool to use as part of your compensation plan. So if you're not using it to build your business, then you're not using it right. So for me, I like to look at it as placement is given to you to build your downline, not for your upline to build you. It is not something you can expect from your upline. I can tell you, I'm in the presidential circle. I haven't been given a single girl, not one. You do not need it to build your business. You do not need that help from your upline. It is awesome if it happens, but it doesn't always happen. I've never had it happen because our team took off so quickly. Our upline has never even looked twice at us because we don't need it, because our team is flourishing just like it is. And so I don't need to do that. But there have been times where I've gone, man, I see all these other people getting people and I'm not being given anybody. And I'm like this close to a promotion and nobody helps. And I am telling you, there is something to be said for being able to say, I built this business and nobody did it for me. Because I have seen people be given 20, 25 people to build their business into what it is, and you don't need it. You don't need it, but you do want to hit team leader so that you can use it, because that is far more powerful than having your upline give them to you. So placement is a really powerful tool. You got to be careful how you approach it. I've had some directs go, well, why are you moving me? You recruited me, I want to be under you. So you have to be really sensitive when you approach placement. And so I will always say something along the lines of, hey, Margaret, I'm so excited that you've joined my team. I do something, we have a tool called strategic placement. Sorry, I'm like put on the spot. We have a tool called strategic placement, and it is a tool that we all get to earn once you hit team leader, where I can place you under another fantastic leader on my team, and she's going to be able to be a sponsor to you when I'm not available. It doesn't change anything for you. All it does is give you another person to talk to. You still come to me. I'm still your direct enroller, and you still get all the tools and trainings that I offer my direct girls. There is nothing, literally nothing changes for that person, except for if they look at their upline, they see more names. It literally changes nothing. A lot of people think that they're further from the home office. You guys, I'm 8 levels deep. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter where you fall to home office. So placement is something you got to be careful with also when you're choosing somebody to place with. And there is always a conversation. Like, look, if you're not willing to build, I'm not building you. And that is just hands down, because that's a waste of a placement. And I don't mean to make them sound like they're chess pieces, but they kind of are. So it kind of is in the grand scheme of things, because if they work their business, they could be a real asset to someone who is also working their business. And I will also say that I always try to place under somebody I brought into the business. And they're aware of that from the get-go, that they will always be my go-to people if they're working their business, to build them with my new people. And then, do you want me to cover the building in the placement suite or no?
So we have like 9 more minutes.
Okay. I can if you want, or I can take questions.
Do you guys want questions, or do you want to go for it?
Questions. She wants questions. Okay, shoot them at me.
Was it Connie or Dina? Somebody have a question?
I still get confused on, Margaret, we've talked about this before, like the placement thing, right? So if you've got a leg, like Lindsay's saying, you want to try to reward the people that are working the business. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of hard, like when you look at the team, like you've got someone who's really killing it and then someone who's struggling, but she just happens to be the leg that we need to keep building on. Like, how do you find the balance in that, Lindsay? How do you, like, that you're trying to make yourself advance. Like you said, you look and see if you're up for promotion first, and if you're all set, you go to your next person that needs to promote. How do you find that balance when you've got a really strong leg who's working it and can't seem to get anybody, and then you've got another one that has been killing it and we're supporting? Like, how do you work that? I guess that's my question.
Okay, so Leah's my strongest leg, hands down, from the beginning. She has been at my tails. Like, she's been right on my heels since I started. And I never give her people, not ever, because she's growing on her own. If you have somebody that is growing on their own, and it's always a conversation. Hey, Connie, how are you doing this month? Do you have anybody on the ropes that you've been talking to? Anyone on the fence? And what can I do to help? If they have somebody, I don't give them somebody, because they can get them on their own with a little bit of help on recruiting, right? So you don't want to give them a person until you have to. Now, I will say, I never give Leah people. But when she was pushing to make it onto the leadership retreat in January of this year, I gave her 4 people because she was on the brink of a really important promotion, and I knew that it meant the world to her, and she had been working her tail off. So that month I did. I gave her enough people to push her over the top. But I don't typically. So if it's somebody that you need that is key to your growing, I would build them. But if it's somebody that's growing on their own, like you said, your strong leg, I would not. Unless they're like a team leader and they're about to hit a director. Oh, let me say this. I always look for team leaders first. So when I am done looking at myself, I will then look at team leaders. It sounds so selfish, but it's true. It's true. I have to maintain my paycheck, right? So you also want to look at team leaders, because team leader is a game changer in this business, because now they can place. So if they're close to team leader, if you can get them there, now their upline has somebody helping them build their team. And it's not only up to that director or whoever is above them. Now they've got a team member helping them place and structure and build their team the way they need it. So always team leader first before any other rank. For me personally, that's what I do. It's so shocking how much people can make in this business. And so if you can like structure your business and not feel bad about not placing under certain people, it is seriously a game changer. The placement tool is hands down the best tool in this business.
Oh, by far.
Don't you think? It's amazing.
Oh yeah. And then if people are team leader and they don't keep their rank, I'm like, oh, don't do that. That's 30 days of you being able to place and build your business. Like, don't do it. Keep that team leader rank as much as you can.
Yeah, and it's important too to make sure they understand how to get themselves to team leaders. So I have a lot of girls that'll have like 7 recruits, but they won't have those people sign up under one of their girls. And I'll be like, why would you not do that when you're pushing so hard to team leader? You've got the volume, you've got killer sales, and all your girls are working their business, but they're not recruiting. Well, if she put 2 people under one of her girls, she would have hit team leader. And she's like, well, I lose money. And I said, not when you hit team leader, you get it back. Because now you're getting 6% because they're your E2 now. So you get paid on them the same as if they were your E1. Automatically. So as long as they stay first or second level, like recruiting wise, if I had Margaret and Margaret brought in Connie is my E2 now. So even if Connie was my recruit, putting her under Margaret is not going to hurt my pay once I'm a team leader. So if it's a game-changing rank like that, as long as it's 2 levels deep, you're good. So it's
So it's like saying like, yeah, if like I have 2 people that I'm thinking of, or 2 people that are signing on, having maybe one sign underneath the other, and then putting them underneath somebody to help get them to team leader.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've thought of that in the past. I've had a couple of girls do that, where she did 3 across. She had 4 people, and she did 3 across, and one person signed on underneath somebody else. So she was 2 down. But still, she's 1 person away from team leader now.
Yeah.
That's a big difference.
Did I misunderstood you, though, Lindsay? Are you saying, so you've got 4 people you need that you have recruited, right? Are you saying instead of recruiting them under your name, give them to a team member so that it makes it their E1 but your E2? Is that what I just heard you say?
That's right. You lose out on jump starts, but that's it. Because once you hit team leader, you're getting paid more. And I guarantee you promotion is worth more than jump starts. Hands down. So jump starts are fantastic. Don't get me wrong. Right. But in the big picture, if you're trying to grow a team, depth matters. So if you have all these recruits that are just flying in, give some of them to one of your leaders and just explain to your girl, I'm on the brink of a promotion and this would really help me, but I'll still be your go-to person. We've had people do that before, and it's made them rank advance so much quicker. They just lose sight of the fact that their pay doesn't change. Once they hit team leader, they get that pay back. So they lose it for like, so you lose 3% for like a month. It's nothing. I mean, 3%
compared to the big scheme of things.
Yeah, no, that's cool because I had never heard of it that way. I thought that we had to recruit them, but then we place them at team leader. So it's good to know
that. But if your person that's trying to hit team leader can't place yet.
Right.
So they could put them under you and then you could place them, but that makes them lose money because now they're not going to get the enroller bonus. Whereas if they put them directly under one of their recruits, now that's going to get them the E2 bonus back. So like I could have Margaret give me a girl for me to place under her, but that would be dumb because then she'll never get that E2 bonus back. It would make more sense for her to place them under one of her recruits.
So good to know. So the next person that I recruit as a team leader, if I know that Cindy needs another person so that we can keep her as senior stylist, I give her Cindy. Like I send her to Cindy. She signs up under Cindy. I'll train her. I'll get her going, obviously, and then so be part of Cindy's fold. But it'll be directly Cindy's E1, but my E2.
That's right.
Okay. All right. I didn't know we could do that. Okay.
So we have less than a minute.
Do what?
Hey, so we have less than a minute.
Yeah, not a lot of people do it, but it is a really good tool if you haven't rank promoted to where you can place. It is worth it. If you're 9 wide as a stylist, you're too wide. You got to start going deeper. You're not ever going to promote.
Absolutely.
Right, which Margaret has said. Yeah, Margaret said that.
I'm like, go deep, go deep.
Deep. And then go wide.
And then go wide. Yes, deep.
Then later you're like, why'd I place all those people?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Lindsay, this was awesome. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Lindsay. Sorry I was a couple of minutes late. I couldn't get on for some reason.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to get to the meeting. But it worked.
But this will be great because we'll have the recording so that everybody else can watch it, tonight or tomorrow. So this was perfect.
I know. I think it's a busy week for everybody. I tried to get my whole team to like jump on, but it's just a busy week because it's Thanksgiving. I don't know. Everyone's out shooting turkeys, I guess.
I should be cleaning off my dining room table, but I'm down here with you ladies.
It's because we're important to you, Connie.
That's right.